Allison with the Create Happy Now podcast. And I told you last week that I am going to be starting a Happy Hacks series. And the Happy Hacks, if you will recall, at the end of all of my podcasts, I ask my guests if they have a tip or tool that they like to use to instantly lift their spirits. Something that my listeners, you, can apply anytime, anywhere. If you're kind of in the doldrums, or you maybe had an argument or something triggered you and you just need to kind of get back to status quo. And if you have this practice and you do it more and more often and throughout the day and each week, get into the practice of doing this, then your happiness status will stay a little higher most of the time. What I have experienced in my own life, I used to get triggered. I wore my emotions on my sleeve. You could tell if I was happy or sad. I did not have a poker face. And I just would let my emotions get the best of me. My fears, my limiting beliefs, my emotions take over. I didn't have any control. And I just was miserable. And on my journey of trying to find happiness and being happier, a lot of these happy hacks that my guests have shared, I was like, I tried that. That works. I've tried that. That works. And that's why I wanted to introduce all of this to you. And today, I'm really excited about my very first one. Now, when I first started doing this, I thought the same thing maybe you did. I don't know if you're already doing this or not. I haven't told you what it is yet. But if you have put it off or haven't tried it, please just give it another try. Just at least for a few weeks. And it's not going to take up any time, I promise. So with that being said, I have 12 tips on how to start your meditation practice very easily, and I've got some tricks that makes it fun. So stay tuned. I've got some fun pictures for you to look at while I go over these 12 tips, and I have some downloads for you at the end. One of them is a fun little project that you can do, and another one is a meditation that is for happiness and relaxation, and I think you'll really like it. So stay with me, listen to these 12 tips, and enjoy. Give it a try. Today's happy hack is called Find Your Happy Place Anytime with 12 quick meditation tips for beginners. This is also good for those who are already meditating and might find some alternative ways to meditate or to improve their practice. So let's get started. Tip number 1, just try sitting for 2 minutes. You guys, 2 minutes is not going to take up a lot of time. And 2 minutes is going to be over before you know it. If you've got one of those little hourglasses, or just use your iPhone and set it for 2 minutes and then you're done. And just knowing that it's just for 2 minutes might help curb some of those thoughts, because they can wait 2 minutes at least. And that kind of subconsciously lets you know that I'm not going to be doing this for a long time. So maybe I can hold my thoughts at bay for at least 2 minutes. And then you can always increase this time the longer you have available and the longer you naturally would like to do it. Because once you start doing this and really start to enjoy it and find the benefit of it, you're going to want to do it longer and longer. Tip number 2, do it first thing in the morning. Get it out of the way. Do it like you brush your teeth in the morning, or any other routine that you do first thing in the morning. Put a sign on your nightstand to make sure that you don't forget, or stick a sticky note on your mirror in the bathroom. Or if you're just laying in the bed and you're just kind of waiting to wake up in the morning, just sit there and just lay still for a couple of minutes. Set your snooze and just sit there for a couple minutes. Just sit up in bed, but just do it first thing in the morning. It really will help you start your day so much better. Tip number 3, don't worry about making it a perfect meditation. No meditation is perfect. Don't worry about where, on what cushion, what position. None of that is important. Just sit or lay down or wherever you are. If you got to be standing, just don't do it when you're driving. Just wherever you can safely close your eyes and not be disturbed for a couple of minutes. Some of you might just find this in the bathroom, but just make sure that you don't put a lot of pressure on yourself to make this perfect. This is time for you. You make it beneficial for you any way you want. Tip number 4, take inventory of how you feel. Like when you're just getting started and settled in, what is your mood right then? Are you tired? Are you overwhelmed? Is everything fine? Just make it an observation. Nothing is right. Nothing is wrong. There's nothing to fix, nothing to ignore. Just kind of go, I'm kind of feeling a little bored, or I'm a little overwhelmed today. I've got a lot to do. Whatever it is, just make it an observation. Tip number 5, breath trick. One way to keep thoughts at bay and keep them just waiting a little longer is to focus on counting how many breaths you take in 2 minutes. Just count how many breaths you do in 2 minutes. It's kind of hard to have thoughts roll in when you are busy focusing and concentrating on how many breaths you're taking. The trick with meditation is just to be super hyper focused. And that's really hard when you're trying to do meditations and go, I got to think about nothing. I got to think about nothing. You can think about something. Just think about one thing, and hopefully something that's doesn't mean anything. You're just doing a mundane kind of activity. And then another thing you can do with this breath trick is when you're counting it, follow your breath with your imagination. You can follow it from your nose all the way to your lungs and then back out. That's 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. It's a great trick to try to keep those thoughts and keep you focused. Tip number 6, catching those thoughts. Those thoughts are going to creep in. That's what our brain is made to do. So you can't always stop it, but you might be able to delay them, perhaps. There's nothing wrong with having these, but just, again, observe them, smile, and tell them you're busy right now, and you will take care of them when you are finished. They're just like little kids that come in and go, Mom, Mom, Dad, Dad. Just go, I will be there in a moment. Just give me 2 minutes. And sometimes that works. I mean, if you could really play with your thoughts, kind of just say, stop and say, I don't have to think about that right now. I can think about it in 2 minutes. So that has helped me quite a bit. And don't get angry with your thought visitors. Just kindly let them pass through. Say, I see you. I will work on that later. And if a feeling of frustration or anger or anxiety comes through, just stay with it for a while. Observe it. Write it down. Ponder on, why did that come up right now? This is a time to get to know yourself. It's not a time to go, I can't stop thinking anymore. Just learn about what happens when you are trying to quiet your mind. Focus on trying to coax it to wait until later, or try to hyper-focus your mind on something else. Tip number 7, be patient with yourself. Like I said, get to know yourself and how your mind works. Be patient and kind with this meditation practice and your mind that is being trained like a little puppy. Like, just pretend your brain's this little puppy and you need to keep it from going potty on the carpet. So instead of spanking it, you just take it outside every time it goes potty outside. Same with your mind. Every time this little thought comes in, set it outside. Okay. So that's something that I encourage you just to take your time and be patient and don't give up. Tip number 8, get your body involved. Take inventory of your sensations from your nose to your toes. Try to get a feeling of your whole body at once. I mean, you're in this meat suit, and sometimes we're just not in our body. Have you ever been sitting at a desk or driving your car and you've got your one foot that's in a weird position and you don't even know it until you go to stand up and it's asleep? Because you're out of your body. You're not really paying attention to what's going on. So be in your body when you're meditating. Just kind of feel it all at once. You'll feel it kind of little buzzing a little bit. Feel your toes, wiggle them, feel your nose, and like try to scrunch your nose and wiggle your toes at the same time. Get your body involved. Also, focus on your ears and listen to all the little sounds like the air conditioner or the traffic outside or your dog snoring. And how does the room feel? Is it light? Is it dark? Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it just fine? There's nothing wrong or right about it. Just make an observation. And tip number 9, be flexible but committed. Be flexible with the position you're in. You can lay down or sit up, the time frame, your thoughts coming in and out, how cold or hot it is in the room. You should learn how to do this when you need it, anywhere and anytime. Commitment means to do it daily. If you forget, then do it now. You will always have 2 minutes. Tip number 10, other meditative alternatives. Sometimes you might still be frustrated with trying to keep those thoughts at bay and having a chance to be hyper-focused when you have nothing to do. So sometimes you can try some of these other tools, and one of them is a guided meditation, and that offers a focus of someone's voice to lead you into a relaxed state. Many guided meditations can help you more beneficially if you are a beginner, so that way you can keep those thoughts at bay a little longer. And there is a link in the description of a guided meditation for being happy and relax. And you can find more meditations on the Create Happy Meditations playlist on Create Happy Now YouTube channel. Try focusing on a mandala. A mandala is Sanskrit for a pattern in a circle. And there's an unlimited amount of designs of mandalas all over the world that I'm sure you have seen at some point in time. And what I have available for you is several mandalas that you can print off and color. You can color them by yourself, or maybe you can get your children involved if they're young enough to have an interest in coloring still. You can meditate while you're coloring. Do you remember when you were a child and you loved to color and how engrossed you were in coloring in your coloring book? That is something that's really especially effective for me. I'm a painter, and I notice that I really get hyper-focused when I'm painting, and it feels so good to have that focus because no thoughts creep in because I am just really into what I'm doing at that moment. And that is meditation. That is a form of meditation. You don't always have to have your eyes closed. And then another thing you can do with a mandala is once you're finished, or you can print off one that off the internet or one that you've already colored, and you can just stare at it kind of like a kaleidoscope and just use that to focus on your meditation. And you can use a mandala to look at while you use the guided meditation that you can download with this as well. Another thing that I really enjoy, like I mentioned before, is doing a hobby. So if you have a favorite hobby that takes a lot of concentration, like maybe you like to paint like I do, or you like to garden, or maybe you like to cook or bake. Woodworking, that takes a lot of skill and focus. You got to make sure that it's done correctly. Or dance. Some people, I know one of my friends really loves to dance. That is the way that she really likes to find her happy place and her meditation. Some people like to work out or run, walking, needlepoint, sewing, anything that you really enjoy and have to focus fully on it. And tip number 11, meditate with a friend or a group. Have a buddy that says, hey, let's get together every morning via Zoom and just sit and listen to some music and maybe listen to a guided meditation together. It doesn't have to be very long. It can just be a quick 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and then you're off to your day. Maybe get your spouse involved or your children to have a quick meditation in the morning to start your day. So make sure that you get involved with some friends or family, because that then makes it more routine for you. Another thing that you can do is find an online community like the Create Happy Now Facebook group, where you can find others that if you need some tips on, I'm having trouble concentrating still, or where are some good guided meditations I can go to, or anything else that you might need. Maybe you can recruit a meditation partner or something. So definitely make sure that if you do struggle with this, have somebody come along with you. And the last 12th tip is to just smile. Smiling can always raise your vibration and help you start going into a meditative state. So if you have a rough day, or maybe you had an argument, or traffic is getting you upset, or anything that's causing you to have a tense moment, you don't always have to do your meditation and relaxation first thing in the morning. Sometimes you can use it as like a little emergency toolkit to jump in and save the day when you just need to just cool down quickly. And so what I typically do in this case is, and I can be standing, it doesn't have to be a full meditation, but I just stand or sit and just smile and take a deep breath and then let it all out, just like you're taking a yawn, like big sigh. And then I focus from my nose to my toes, and I just feel it all at once and just focus on my whole body. And I listen to my breath and follow it in from my nose to my lungs and back out. And just sit and try to make sure I get my shoulders to relax and my belly to relax and my face to relax. And that's just a quick meditation to kind of have a quick chill out moment. So I hope you enjoyed these. Make sure that you go down into the description and print off the mandalas. There's also a happy and relaxed meditation download in the description as well. And don't forget, you can also print out these 12 tips. I hope you enjoyed this Find Your Happy Place Anytime happy hack, and I hope you stay tuned for more next week. Happy meditating.